Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Hannah and today we're going to be talking about if you like this book, then you'll like this book. Hi guys, today we're going to be talking about if you like this book, then you'll like this book. So let's get started, shall we? So we're going to start with the series that I've been currently reading, which is the Percy Jackson series. Now this is a series that I've only recently gotten into. I think it was around mid-lockdown, I would say. And I've flown through this series very quickly. You can see the size of it as well. I'm currently actually on the Heroes of Olympus series. I'm on book number 2. But it's like twice, maybe even 3 times the amount of this book. So it's just like, oh my gosh, you've tripled it, but I like it, so it's okay. So for fans of this book, I would say A Wrinkle in Time. I know that people will be like, that's a bit of an odd one to recommend, but I feel like these two are very similar in their strangeness. For in The Lightning Thief, you go to strange places, like you pop up on random islands and then monsters are coming out everywhere, and you've got all these inner little meanings and the Greek myths all interwoven into the narrative. And then with The Wrinkle in Time, you've got that strange sort of feeling. It's one of those series where the villains just keep popping up everywhere. You turn a corner, you go to Asda, and then there's a villain just like doing his shopping. It's like the same sort of feel with both these books, so yeah, I recommend that for fans of that. And this actually has a new, I think it's TV series coming out, isn't it? Or is it films? I think I'm gonna go with TV series, but I might be wrong there. And this one's had a film come out with, what's his name? The guy in Star Trek. Yeah, it's a very weird film, that one. And I quite like weird films. I like anything strange or Tim Burton-y, like the new Alice in, well, not new, but the new Alice in Wonderlands. Even though my parents are like, these are weird films. And I was like, yes, but they're beautifully weird, so it's a different thing entirely. So yes, definitely a recommendation there. So moving on. The Starless Sea. Oh, can we just appreciate this book for a moment? Just look at that. And how it's signed as well. Don't you just love Waterstones? Waterstones has everything. I've even got the Night Circus new edition on the shelf as well, and that's really pretty. For those of you who don't know what this is about, this has got like magic in it. It's got a secret underground library. It's really sweet because it's got loads of stories intertwined in this one. So you'll have a little story off the side, then it comes in, and it's all interwoven, and it's all really pretty and nice, and like, oh, I really like things that have like a short story that somehow fits with a long story, that somehow fits with another short story, that fits with another story, and it's just like all wrapped up in this gorgeous book. So, tangent there. But for fans of this, I'd recommend this. This is the Invisible Library, and I've just told you this has a library in here as well, so can you see why I'm recommending? Although, I will say that this probably doesn't have the same sort of feel as the Starless Sea. I'd say this is more science fiction, fantasy. This has everything in it, you know. I could keep going. I can make a list. It's got romance, it's got adventure, it's got action. Just name a genre. So the librarians in this book are a secret organisation, and they go from different realms or worlds, or I think there was a specific word for it. Not multiverse. Don't know. Going a bit Marvel there. And this is all wrote in London, and the librarians, they find important books to the realms, and I don't know if realms is the right word, and they take the book and then they put it actually in the library so the realm doesn't collapse, basically. And that's what Irene does. She's the librarian, and she's been assigned this new rookie intern, and she's like, oh, I work alone. I was like, yes, Irene. And the author of this, Genevieve Cogman, is absolutely one of my favourites. She is so good. I'd say with this series, the only worry point I have is that it takes a little bit of time to get your mind wrapped around the world. The world building is quite full force when you first read this, but I promise, like after a few chapters, it's so worth it. It is amazing. It's one of my favourites, and I'll just keep recommending it. I actually recommended it to this girl on Instagram, and she just bought the whole series. I was like, oh my gosh, you gotta love this series if you bought the whole series, don't hate me. But no, honestly, I recommend. So definitely for fans of the Starless Sea, or maybe just fans for people who like libraries and books. I know I do. Like, my dream is to have a library with a spiral staircase and stairs leading up to it with the book titles engraved on. Like, come on, everyone's imagined that perfect library setting. Yes, it definitely, it's not just me. All bookish people have done this. It's just a fact. We are the book community and we are proud. So, this was on my very first video, and I did warn you that I'm going to keep recommending it over and over again. So, the Clockwork Angel with this gorgeous edition. So, this is absolutely gorgeous. So, Shadowhunters, you know this by now, come on, Tessa Gray. Isn't that just a wonderful name as well? One of my friends asked me, what would you like your name to be if you could change it? I just went, Tessa Gray. And she's like, is that just because of Will Herondale? And I was like, and Tessa Gray. Well, Herondale's a plus. I mean, Tessa Gray's a wonderful character on her own. Yes, I am Tessa. Okay, people will both fight me on that if they want to be their own Tessa Gray. I actually went to this book signing with Cassandra Clare, and she was like, so who's your favourite character from my series? I was like, Tessa Gray? And she's like, oh my goodness, is it really? I was like, yes it is really. And she was like, people usually say Will Herondale. I'm like, yes, he's my favourite male character, but Tessa just overtops everyone. I mean, she's a bookish, loving character in this magic warlock demon world, so it's just amazing. Okay, so sorry, tangent again. So, fans of this, I'd recommend this. So this book is a trilogy, but the only caution I have is that when I was reading it, I found that the first book was a bit slower than the other ones. I actually found it a little bit boring. And I think that's just because I was comparing it to Cassandra Clare's. I know the narratives are the same, sort of, with the demon slayers and them coming out at night times and stuff like that. But I found it a little bit slow. I mean, there was a bit of sexism in here, and you know, I know it's 1812, but I could have done with a little bit less. But this is where it gets a little bit odd, because I would recommend the series, because even though I didn't particularly love the first book, the second book got better, and then by the third book I was like, I need to know what happens. I need to know. It's one of those really odd series that just get progressively better, but you have to start on the first one, so it's like, am I doing this? Shall I do this? Is it worth it? I don't know if it's worth it. You tell me if it's worth it with this series. I mean, it wasn't bad, it was just not particularly gripping for me, but I really did enjoy it, so probably not very helpful. But definitely fans of this. Will be fans of this. Maybe. Potentially. Tell me if you like the third book. I like the third book. I don't know what I'm doing. We are all fans of this. Don't even lie about it. You're a fan. I'm a fan. We're all a fan. I mean, if you want a badass female character, this is the book for you. Selena Sartofia. Isn't that name just brilliant? Absolutely gorgeous. Yes, she's beautiful, she's deadly, she's destined for greatness. Yes, she is. And for everyone who's read the conclusion of this series, we know just how far this character will go. Yeah, so she's an assassin, and she's just got out of Endover Mines in this book. That seems like a long time ago for fans who've read the whole series. But yes, she was an assassin. Isn't that cool? And there are a lot of male characters that you're going to fall in love with instantly. So for fans of this, I would recommend this. The Poison City by Maria V. Snyder. Just pause for a moment, this is one of my favourite series. I don't know what took me so long to read this. I have absolutely no idea why I didn't read this sooner. It's just amazing. So Yelena was in prison for murder, and what they do is they select a random person who was on the murder block. Murder block? Next in line for murder. And they plucked a name out and they said you have the choice to have a quick death or a slow death by being the commander's food taster. This is actually one of my favourites because of the world building and the magic system. It's very, very cleverly done. And you've got Janko in it, and oh, as the series goes on, it's not just in Yelena's point of view anymore. It has different point of views, and at first I was a little hesitant. I was like, oh, but I really like her point of view. The more you read it, the more you're like, but I like all these different point of views that like being in your head. It's a little bit creepy, but I like it. I like Janko a lot. So definitely, for fans of this, recommend this. So guys, that is the conclusion of my if you like this, you'll like this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. So subscribe down below, and if you have any recommendations for what sort of videos you like in the future, just leave it in the comments below and I'll browse through them because I like doing my browsing. It's a little bit weird to say that out loud, but okay. Okay guys, bye!